Welcome to Toffee TV. There's the match preview. Everton versus Southampton, Goodison Park, 3 o'clock. This game feels massive for so many reasons. Number one reason being Everton have got to win this game. Like, there's nothing else. They've got to win this game.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go other than the 3 points. A draw isn't even an acceptable result for Everton. It's a home game against a rival. We've lost 3 home games on the run. We've lost 4 of the last 5 at Goodison. And we simply, we've come back from the World Cup, 3 defeats in 4 games. So it's a must win for Everton.
It's huge, isn't it? Huge game. What have we lost now? The last 4 at home?
We've lost 3 out the last 4, 4 out the last 5 at Goodison.
Yeah. Obviously, went out the FA Cup. In the bottom 3, with just Wolves a point behind us. In some, you just can't understate how just huge it is, because we know the club just seems to be in free fall. The whole thing seems to be free fall at the moment. Frank Lampard is clinging on for his, by his nails. If he was to lose this game, you'd have to sack him. You just have to sack him. We know there's a demonstration after the game, which obviously for fans to voice their opinions, concerns about what's going on. We fully back them in that, because it's simply not good enough. We're sitting here recording this, and Everton have been linked with players, but as we record this, there doesn't seem to be any.
Nothing's close, is it?
Nothing's close. We're linked with players that other clubs are linked with, and playing a team who are in the bottom 3. We're playing West Ham, who are just above us next week. These are 2 games that I honestly believe that if we don't get at least 4 points out of, that we are in so much more trouble than we were last season with the fixtures that come after them. And I think I'm not saying a win on Saturday cures anything, but it's the start. It's got to be the start, hasn't it? It's got to be the start. It's got to be. And we've already beaten Southampton this season, and they're on a poor run in the league as well, and we've just got to get the 3 points.
I mean, Everton, you look at the league table, and depending on other results, Everton could end up as high as 13 on Saturday night with a victory. Obviously, all of those results are not going to go that way, where Everton jumped that much, but that would certainly be, you'd put 6 points then between Everton and Southampton. We've had the home games we keep throwing away. Leicester are around us, Wolves are around us. We lost both of them. Okay, Brighton's different, but we still lost at home. Got to start beating the teams around you, and Everton aren't beating anyone. 3 wins in 18 games is absolutely diabolical for any manager, any set of players anywhere. 1 win in 12 is where we're at the moment, which is embarrassing as well. So from somewhere, they've got to re-energise themselves. It's got to be Saturday. They've got to, like you've just said, we've got Southampton and we've got West Ham away. West Ham are level with us on points. Southampton are 3 points behind us. Everton have got to be looking for, like you said, at least 4 points from those 2 games, if not more. West Ham will be tough down there, and this will be tough on Saturday. Nathan Jones, all right, I think they've lost 6 Premier League games on the run at the moment. They had a good moral boost and victory at Palace and the Cup. He's trying to get that turn around. They brought in Orosic, they're trying to bring in Alcaraz as well, the striker from South America. So they're trying to kickstart something. Everton can't give them any more encouragement, and it's got to be a performance that talks to the fans. There's going to be a bus welcome and all that. The crowd are trying to do their bit. and it's up to the players to start doing their bit, because whether, you know, keep hearing the good lads in that dressing room and they want to do well for the club, well, good lads don't lose as many games as we've lost. They don't go. We don't win one game in 12. You've got to give everything to the cause. You've got to go out and give everything to the cause. You don't capitulate like we did against Brighton. And on Saturday, you know, it's the halfway point Saturday, the 19th game of the season. And Everton have got to start amassing some points.
Yeah, because we are, you know, we are in very much same situation as we were last season. You know, and the stat of I think 1 win and 14 was thrown about for Rafa Benitez. Well, you know, if we don't win on Saturday, then you can just present that for Frank Lampard. And that, if that got him the sack, then really it should get Frank Lampard the sack. But then what it does is it points to a bigger picture of failures at the football club, which I think we're all well aware of, and I think there's plenty of evidence to suggest that, and there has to be change. But, you know, in terms of the game itself, I mean, we've seen, obviously we saw the moral boosting draw at Manchester City, and we come into the Brighton game. For me, I don't think we paid them enough respect for how good they are now, how well, you know, tactically, how well, tactically how terrible we were in the night now we set up. And Manchester United, again, they can take bits from it. But have we got to stay with that? Have we got to stay, even though it's a team that are below us, do we have to stay with the 5 at the back the 3 at the back and make sure the the wing backs are pushing on and giving us that width and getting Damari Gray maybe playing behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin? And
yeah, I think so. I don't see the value in switching again, because when we go to West Ham, I'm quite sure he'll play 3 at the back again. So rather than messing with it, try to dig in and make yourself difficult to beat. I think that whether us as fans like it, don't like it, whatever, it's about putting points on the board. And I think if he'd just left the team the same from the City game to the Brighton game, I certainly don't think we'd have been done 4-1. I think we'd have been in the game. So
it is a difficult one, and I appreciate that for this game, because, you know, we will be seen as a team that we've got to go and beat them, and that means more attacking players on the pitch. And again, I still think playing, if you have 3 at the back and you have the wing backs properly, you can have attacking players on the wing. I mean, 3 at the back, when you think, you know, it can be very attacking if you do it well and you've got the right players out there. I look at the last game against Brighton and the way we played it, and how rigid 4-3-3 was, and how you know, Damari Gray was stuck out on the wing and had nowhere to go, and didn't really use the abilities he's got of, you know, getting the ball, getting past the first man and then using his pace. He was stuck out wide. And, you know, to me, I think it's going to be difficult, because obviously we know there's no Alex Iwobi. I imagine probably Decore will just come in. He actually did all right against Manchester United, and he did become that player. And maybe him breaking as well, and having that he can be the person who breaks on midfield. Having Damari Gray's pace, having Dom as someone you can use as a focal point. You know, you've got to switch it around and look at it and go, it's not defensive, it just suits the plays we have. Because I just don't think the 4-3-3 has worked the way he's wanted it to work. There's no one really breaking from midfield. Alex Iwobi of late has just got clogged up in the midfield without breaking forward. Doesn't really arrive late into the box or anything like that. Those wide men don't come inside. The full-backs don't push on. You know, because I think they're both scared of leaving the 2 centre-backs without the pace, and it becomes very rigid, and there's no fluidity and there's no movement. And we saw that in the Wolves game, where, you know, the last minute where they've got no one's coming back and taking the ball off and then moving it through the pitch. And we've only really seen that against Crystal Palace, us actually going through the middle of the pitch and moving it. I just remember when the Brighton game, and I just remember when the team came out, and a lot of people just that night there's an audible groan when we saw the team, and I think it could be the same Saturday. I think it's all about hard work Saturday and digging in and getting something out the game, and I think that formation gives us the best opportunity of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the core, we saw in that, whatever he was on, United, in the second half, he broke into the box 3 or 4 times, tried to get on the end of things. He did, of course, score a goal in this fixture last season, a great goal as well. And that was a game in which it was Rafa Benitez's first game, but he had him and Alan as 2 holding midfield, well, 2 midfield, but both of them were pushing up and down and stuff. And Decore was at his best for Watford when he was allowed to break into the box when he scored goals. And Everton don't have goals from midfield, and he is someone who can potentially get you the goals, so he would come in for me. And I think Damari Gray being able to roam off Dom makes sense as well. And then the manager might have a call to make at full, you know, at the wing backs. Maybe he could look at, if he really wanted to go attacking and play McNeil and Gordon as the 2 wing backs if he wanted. I don't think he will. I think that'd be a little bit too brave for him, but certainly, you know, their options. I mean, he did that at United. He put both of them on for the wing backs for the last 10-15 minutes. So if you want to get more attacking players on, you could do that. I think he'll go a little bit more reserved than that, but there is that flexibility to be able to do that. And then you obviously the 3 at the back. You've got Ben Godfrey's pace in there, which you need, and yeah, for me that would be the team. You know, the core 8 just coming for a Wobie, Dom with Gray off him. I think that gives us the best opportunity. I imagine it'll be Coleman and Michalenko as the wing backs, but they have to push high. If we're going to do it, they have to play higher up the pitch. And then you have Onana and Garner to sit, and if they sit in front of the back 3, then the full-backs can go really high and the core 8 can bomb on, and you've still got enough bodies there and you're not getting caught. And actually, with having the 3, one of your midfielders can break to the edge of the box as well, whichever one that is. Southampton obviously in poor form. They're looking to change it. So, you know, for Everton, they've got to look at this game and go, these are bottom of the league. The bottom of the table for a reason. We saw it. I mean, it doesn't really matter because Wolves were bottom and they come last week and they weren't very good on that day, and Everton still managed to lose the game. So Everton have got to, and the thing I don't think they did very well against Wolves, and they should have done, was they got the early goal and then didn't push on. And we saw this is something that started this bad run, was United at home. We scored after 5 minutes and then went, oh, we better sit back now. And you know, what you need to do is you get these teams on the ropes, you've got to put them to bed. And I know people will say, well, there's no goals in the team to do that, but anyone can score a goal. You've just got to have the ball in and around the box enough, get shots away.
Got to be brave, haven't you?
Managers they've got to be working on crosses and shots. I say it all the time, and it sounds a little bit stupid at times, but the more attempts you have at goal, the more chance you've got of scoring goals. Otherwise, you are hoping to be perfect for the 1 or 2 opportunities you get, and Everton are far from perfect. You know, you need a goal like Damari Gray's at Man City. That's not happening every week, is it? So, seen a very interesting stat before, that since the start of last season, Damari Gray scored more goals than any Everton player in the Premier League. He's got 8, and within that, he's had a run of 21 games without a goal, and 13 games without a goal in the 18 months he's been here. So that tells you, A, how important he is to us when people go, Gray's crap or whatever. He's just inconsistent, the way it is, but he's still one of our best threats, if not our best.
But I think you get so much more out of him when he's playing centrally, it's not even centrally. He's got the flexibility to move around. He's a second striker. I think we get so much more out of him.
And he's quick.
When he gets stuck on one of the wings, he can still take up those positions, but in a role behind the striker. But it's not rigid. He's not. You know, I know you look at the goal he scored against Man City, and he is cutting in, but he can do that anyway. But when he's stuck out there, and you look and say, as I said, I've seen this in the Brighton game. He's stuck. He knows the fullback is looking after him. He picks the ball up. I don't think he's the I don't think he's great at making his mind up at what he wants to do. I think that's obviously one of his issues. But I think when he plays that central role, because he can go anywhere he wants, it just opens the possibilities up to him.
Don't forget he's quick. So if he is off Dom, you've got the flick on option as well. Yeah. He's pacey. He's probably one of our quickest players.
Look at a couple of goals he scored in the last couple of years. Obviously this year against Forest, the goal he gets, very long kick, comes in central, and he's in. And the goal he scored last year against Burnley, but it's the same. It's a good ball through the middle by I think it's the Corre, isn't it? And he runs right onto it, and he's through the middle.
Does one against Liverpool as well. Quite similar. Liverpool running through the middle and trucks it under Alisson. So we know in them areas he's dangerous. We don't really have that from anybody else. So that's why they would be the front two for me. And I think then you're asking Seamus Coleman, who I thought did the job quite well till his legs went against United in terms of attack. Certainly second half, nearly scored himself. Got forward, you've got to ask him to do that again. And maybe you say to him, listen, give me an hour there, and then Anthony Gordon comes on that and replaces you on that side. Up and down, we'll see. But if they push high enough, you can make those decisions as you go through the game, can't you? It might be Mason Holgate if Everton were 2-0 up after an hour or something, and Coleman's, so you've got to give the manager them options. But I think for us, if you do play that formation we're talking about, like you said before, it doesn't have to be a negative formation. No. Chelsea won the league under Conte with that. Spurs play it, and all right, they have Harry Kane and I'm picking two teams that are at the top end. But what I mean is, you can kind of play this formation where you attack as well. And the reason why I mentioned Chelsea there was they had Victor Moses as a right wing back. Yeah. At one stage he was obviously a winger, and people said he's a lazy winger. Next minute he's a right wing back and did well for Conte. And Anthony Gordon, in this formation, it's a way to get him into the side for now while Patterson's out. So I think it gives it could give Frank Lampard options, but it also is a case of a bit of safety in numbers as well.
Yeah. Let's have a little look at Southampton's team. What they've been playing recently. So they've played three at the back as well. Very similar to what we're talking about. Yeah. Gives them an opportunity to have two up front. We've got the pace of Adams up there as well.
Obviously, Ward-Prowse a real threat.
Well, set piece wise, yeah, and you look at their wing backs as well. Lots of energy up and down, and they haven't been great. They haven't been great either, but again, they're looking to turn it round, aren't they? And Che Adams, someone we were linked with, weren't we, at the beginning of the season. Let's just have a look at his numbers. Games 17, goals 4, 1 assist, 2 shots per game. He was obviously someone we were linked with. Very mobile striker. Who likes, pops up with a goal now and again, as we can see. But I mean, again, they've got probably the same. One of the main issues they've got is the same as us. It's goals, isn't it? They've got a problem with goals as well, and they're obviously going into the market because they understand that. They've sacked their manager. They're going into the market. They're trying to get goals. They've understood that's their problem. Backing the manager, and let's remember, as we go into this game, they're the team bottom of the league. Let's take confidence from that. Let's go out there, puff our chests out and go. These are under pressure as well.
Just looking there.
They're playing at home.
Yeah. I was saying, like Everton have conceded 17 goals in the last 10 games after conceding just 7 in their opening 8. So we've got to get back to that solidity. Southampton, have conceded from 13.5% of their shots faced in the Premier League, which is the highest, shot, so get shots away. Yeah. Whereas only Newcastle have conceded less than Everton in terms of the shots they've faced. So, for Everton's from an attacking perspective, for there, get shots away, pepper their goal. I think they're -18 in the Premier League, so it tells you where you are. That's why, having 7 and 8 shots in a game isn't good enough. This has got to be a game where Everton registered 23, 24 shots. For you, the manager or the coaching staff, you're saying to Damari Gray, get yourself half a yard and have a go. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, get on the end of things, get crosses in. All of you, get shots away. Put the pressure under them, the bottom of the league, for a reason. Make them feel that. Yeah. And
obviously the crowd's got to play its part in that, and I'm sure it will. And we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very, very interesting day for all concerned. So let's just hope it all goes well and we get the 3 points and the players turn up. I know the fans will turn up and we get the 3 points and we start creating positive headlines instead of these terrible negative ones, which of course they're there for a reason. They're there absolutely for a reason, and it's right. But let's see if we can just create some positive headlines on Saturday night.
Like you said before, it really is stick or bust for the manager. We win the game, gives himself a stay of execution and a bit longer to try to get this going the other way. I think anything other than a win, and Everton will be looking for a new manager. And for Southampton, you know, they're going to try and start turning things around by bringing people in. So just before they get into any kind of run and get more players in, we've got to make sure that we can get the most out of this on Saturday. And it's up to Everton. It'll be a difficult game. They'll come and make it difficult. Nathan Jones just trying to put his stamp on it.
Absolutely.
And it's up to us to make sure they don't get the chance yet to do it.
Yeah, there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. It is absolutely huge game in the context of Everton's season and everything going on right now. And maybe long-term implications. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want more videos, exclusive daily videos, join us over on Toffee TV Premier. The QR code for you to scan is coming up in a moment, and there's a link in the description to click as well. Thanks for watching. See you later.